So we are now seeing how Krishna is helping Arjuna and through that helping all of us to understand what is the criteria to choose to act. Atma Vidya gives freedom, but for that one has to be qualified within, which means the mind, which is the very instrument to know oneself. The same mind is today encased. It is jakda hua with ideas of me and mine, with ideas of wants and desires, etc. They are the ones that are now today our limited entity, identity. This limited identity is actually an obstacle to know oneself. So there are a lot of fine adjustments in one's antakaranam in terms of the right attitudes, the right thinking, the right values. When one starts to bring them up in oneself, they help to dilute away the identity limited that is there today and free oneself from overbearing antakaran ke dosh, put it that way, which is rag, dvesh, etc. So for that qualification, introducing in the mind, the best way is, Bhagavad says, Vedas have given us, employ your faculties of action, but in employing them, start introducing new set of attitudes, thoughts, and make them the base of your actions. That aspect will help you to fulfill your desires also, and at the same time, they work to dilute away this overbearing individual perception, which is the obstacle finally. That is the Karam Kand, and in the Gita, that Karam Kand has, by Krishna's grace, come to us as Karam Yog. The word Karam Yog doesn't come in the Vedas. Karam Yog means कर्मों को योग दृष्टि से करना, योग से कर, योग के लिए करना. And what is that yog? Means finally knowing yourself in your true nature. To know that is the way in which you can bring the actions, do them in that drishti. So Karam Kand helps in that way. Entire Karam Kand and the realm of actions, even relatively, are all working within the sense of, within the aspect of creation, which is three gunas, made up of three gunas. So the whole topic of the Karam Kand and whatever falls in the realm of karma, the entire realm is nothing but dealing with three gunas. And those three gunas are the ones that are the bondages within oneself. Being a bondage, how does one release it? When you see, there's a traditional example that comes in Atma Bodh. In the olden days, well water, when it had to be purified, to purify the well water, they introduced alum powder. So alum was thrown in the water. it would disperse. The superficial layer would all get covered by alum. The nature of alum is that it attracts the dirt. And as it attracts the dirt, it becomes heavy. So it sinks a layer down. And at that layer then, now it starts attracting the dirt at that level. And slowly, slowly, throughout the well, as it sinks, it now comes to the bottom, cleaning the entire well. It comes to the surface. As it settles down in the surface, it has purified the water and it itself has removed itself. It's not in the realm of the pure water. Karam Yoga works like that. It is katakanat powder, alum powder. It allows certain attitudes to percolate into your mind, and those attitudes with which you work, they loosen this. The gunas which have held us in our traits today, characteristics today, which have become habitual patterns for us, which make us think and work in a particular way and direction. This, he says, the Vedas, first part deals with it. O Arjuna, you be free from it. And what is it to be free from it? Shankara gives him the meaning clearly. Nistraigunyo bhava Arjuna. Niha traigunya. Free of the three gunas. Bhava, you be, O Arjuna. You become free of the three gunas. Today, what are you? You are a product of your own gunas. You are nothing but your gunas. If your tamas is high, you are a lazy, indolent person. If your rajas is high, you are an active, result-oriented person. If your sattva is high, you are a reflective, contemplative person. This is your nature. And all of us have these which are directing our actions. To Arjuna, Krishna says, you be free of the three gunas. What does it mean? To clarify it, how can you be free of the three gunas? Because if you're free of the three gunas, you won't exist. You're not there. Everything in Prakriti is made up of the three gunas. So how do you become free of the three gunas? He says, Nishkamaha bhava iti arthaha. You become nishkama in your attitude. So, through your gunas, when you act, you are doing sakama karma. Nistraigunya bhava Arjuna means become, introduce, get used to working without self-interest. Primary self-interest. Indirect, yes, everything is interested, related to us. But primary motive need not be just yourself. As in more, a person brings nishkamata into life. That much the expansion of scope of one's mind happens, because of which the impurities that are held within, they release themselves. They become loosened. So the buddhi has a greater scope of working. The buddhi opens up to engage in vichar. Be nishkama. Then he said, nirdvandvaha. Hava. Hava word goes with everyone. Nirdvandvaha hava. What is nirdvandvaha? Sukha dukkha hetu sat pratipakshav padarthau dvandva shabda vachyav tat nirgataha. Whatever are the means for sukha and dukkha, which bring the mind, the experience of pain and pleasure and disturb the mind. Happiness gives excitement and pain gives sorrow. So mind becomes imbalanced, disturbed. Nirdvandvaha means with reference to sukha and dukkha, the causes that give sukha and dukkha, balance them. Tat nirgataha, crossover, means have so much abhyas, do so much practice. Every time the mind is disturbed, bring it into neutrality, bring it into equanimity, bring it into samatvam before you engage into any action and interaction. Initially, the time is too long before the mind comes back. Sometimes for weeks and years, we hold disturbances. Sometimes they are short disturbances, but with practice, they become firmer and firmer, quicker and quicker. I believe there is an example that comes in Bhagavatam with reference to how is the mind unaffected. There are two examples given. One is like Akash, one is like Vayu. Two people, a Jnani, one who has self-knowledge. A Jnani has a samatva antakaranam, established. What kind of a samatvam is it? He's going to bring it further into the next verses also. What kind of a samatvam is it? He says the samatvam like that of Akash, space. Kuch bhi ho usme. Thus, Akash is not perturbed. But the one who is still not established in it and is practicing it. Before you establish is practice. It's like Virat Kohli is established in a shot, Gavaskar is established, Tendulkar is established in a shot. Before they got established, there was a lot of net practice. The more the practice is, easier the establishment is. Same thing with mind attitudes. It doesn't come just with knowledge. It needs a practice. More the practice, stronger the abidance, stronger the nishtha, firmer it is. With Atmagyan, it is absolute, like Akash. But while in the stage of practice, a sadhak's mind should at least be like Vayu, like air. What happens to air? He says, when you see Sugandh ya Durgandh, Dvandva. Sugandh and Durgandh is Dvandva, opposites. Vayu carries Sugandh and Durgandh. It holds it for a little while, but then it dissipates, frees itself of it. It becomes free of the Sugandh and the Durgandh. A sadhak is one who keeps the mind at least like Vayu. Even if there is something that has disturbed, it is held only that much time, and then one finds freedom from it through vichar, through tyag, through values. You neutralize it in different ways. So, nirdvandvaha, those that are causes of sukh and dukh, they're opposites. That's indicated by the dvandva shabda vachya, spoken of by the word dvandva. These opposites, one has, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you rise above them. Exactly what he had said before. With success and failure, jai vijay, etc. In dvandvon se apne man ko lift them. Tat nirgataha nirdvandvaha bhava. Then what? Nitya sattvasthaha. Be established in Nitya Sattvam. Sattva is sattva guna. Sattva guna ashritaha bhava sada. Sada sattva guna ashrita bhava is nitya sattvasthaha. Always engage yourself in things that promote your sattva. Tatha also. Bhava, last, niryogakshema bhava. Don't be running after your yoga and shema. And yoga here is anupatasya upadanam yogaha. Apraptasya vishayaha prapti is yoga. Prapta vishaya rakshanam is kshema. So that we are constantly engaged in acquisition and preservation of objects. Krishna is telling Arjuna, you be free of it. Why? And that is a very important part that Shankara is helping us to resolve. Yoga kshema pradhanasya. If your life is engaged, kept in yoga and shema, actively engaged in acquisition and preservation of your sakama, of your kamna, of desires, you remain engaged in your life, pursuing them, then shreyasi pravrittihi dushkara iti. It will become difficult, dushkara. It brings difficulty in the pursuit of what is shreyas. It makes it difficult to pursue the shreyas. In Kathopanishad, there is a verse that comes where Nachiketas is asked for shreyas, what is good for him, just as Arjuna is asking shreyas. But there, the difference between Nachiketas and Arjuna we have seen very often. Nachiketas is ready for Sankhya Vidya, Jnana Yoga. He in fact is told by Yama not to ask Atma Vidya. He's tempted to not go into that direction. Tum balak ho abhi. You have a whole life to live in front of you. You'll have desires to fulfill. Tum humse wo sab mang lo. Yama was telling Nachiketas, I'll fulfill you with all. I'll give you kingdom of the three Rajyams also till eternity, till this creation. You keep live a life of comfort and enjoying your life. I'll give you everything that is seen as a pleasure in the realm of human form. If you have a human body, whatever you project as can give you pleasure, I will give you all that. Nachiketas said, keep it. इसमें मेरा श्रेयस नहीं है. आप रख लो यमा, मुझे नहीं चाहिए. मैंने जो प्रश्न पूछा है कि गति क्या है इस प्राणी की जब देह छूटेगा, मैंने ये पूछा है. मेरा ये तीसरा वर है. That's my third boon I have asked you. When I die, when people die, what is happening to this being? You tell me that Vidya. Yama till the very end resisted it. Did not want to tell him, thinking he the balak puch raha hai, he is not an adhikari. But the minute Yama gave him the knowledge, Nachiketas could take it. The knowledge is a similar thing what Krishna has said to Arjuna from 12th verse to 30th verse. Same Atma Vidya. Nachiketas had no doubt. But Arjun को जैसे ही भगवान ने ये ज्ञान दिया, जो निर्द्वंद करता है, जो श्रेयस है, वो विद्या ही श्रेयस है. There's nothing else श्रेयस. The minute Bhagwan gave him that, Arjun has no response to it. So Bhagwan had to bring Karam Yoga in the picture, qualify for that Shreyas. To qualify for that Shreyas is also moving in the direction of Shreyas. अगर आप अपने को अधिकारी बना रहे हो for Shreya Vidya, that is also Shreya Marg. You're already on the marg. You're already walking there. That means Karam Yoga is my primary hold to help me come to the higher. There he had said, Nachiketas ko, that those who are manda buddhi, जो ज्यादा सोचते नहीं है, अविवेकी है, avipashchitaha, as he said here in the previous verses. Those who get flowery, carried away by the flowery words of the causation, sadhya sadh, ye karoge to ye milega. Absolutely what Yama was giving Nachiketas. All that these words 41st to 44th have said, flowery words with which you will get attracted to pleasures and etc. of the world and hereafter also, those Yama had said there, these manda buddhi, they get fascinated and they take to the pursuit of prayers. Prayers means opposite of shreyas. Prayers means something which is instantly gratifying. जिसमें आनंद अभी है. मेरा आनंद अभी किसमें पूरा हो रहा है, किसमें दिख रहा है. Bringing that and consuming yourself in that pursuit. Engaging and allowing that consumption to happen. And happiness now, that's good enough. That is it. Yoga Kshema Pradhanasya जिसमें भी रहेगा, that is Yogak and Shema. Preyasi Pravritti Tushkara. It becomes an obstacle to pursue Shreyas, to follow Shreyas. So Preyas is your fascination. Preyo Mando Vidhiyate. That kind of attraction towards it. So, says the problem is not, there's no problem in pursuing Yoga Kshema. The whole world will do it. The obstacle will become that it will prevent you. It will become difficult for you to follow Shreyas because prayers will become your primary pursuit. Yoga Kshema means prayers. Yoga Kshema Vidhiyate. There he had said to Nachiketas, those who follow Manda Buddhi, they take to the path of prayers and they are constantly engaged in Yoga Kshema. He uses exactly the same words. लगे रहते हैं, आप ये चाहिए, फिर ये चाहिए, अब इसको देते हैं, अब उसको it's like the whole life is engaged in this. Therefore, O Arjuna, you be nir-yoga-kshema. You become free of this pursuit of yoga and shema. Which is what then? Atmavan bhava, the last word. Atmavan bhava. What is Atmavan? Shankara gives a beautiful meaning again. Atmavan is apramataha. Apramataha means don't have pramad. Pramad means don't be stupefied. Don't be dull. Be alert. Atmavan means have your antakaranam held by yourself. Be a master of your own antakaranam. Don't let your mind dictate to you. Control your mind by yourself. Don't be dull. Be alert. When does the mind overpower you? That is an advice, upadeshaha, Shankara says, to Arjuna given, swadharmam anutishtitaha, esha eva, upadeshaha, swadharmam anutishtitaha. By saying this verse, Traikunya Vishaya Vedaha, all the 4 Vedas, are dealing with everything that falls in the realm of 3 gunas, which is samsara, which is creation, which is acquired by means of action, sadhya, sadhana realm. You, O Arjuna, nistraigunya bhava, be freed of that by becoming nishkami. Have an attitude of nishkamata to start off, to free yourself from the 3 gunas and from the influence of the dvandvas that the pursuit of the 3 gunas will give you. It will give you dvandvas of sukham and dukham. Free yourself from those extremes. Nirdvandvaha. Establish in sattva. By establishing in sattva, you are sattva guna ashritaha. Engage yourself, promote sattvic swabhav of yours. Niryogakshema atmavan bhava eshaha, this tava, for you, upadeshaha, upadesh diya hai Krishna ne Arjun ko. It's telling her, tumko upadesh diya hai. What is the upadesh? Upadesh is swadharmam anushtitaha. Ultimately, it boils down to swadharmam anushtitaha. If from 11th verse onwards, till now, if you have to pick up the main 2 or 3 points, what would you summarize it as? Just 2 or 3 points. There has been 3 hot flows, 3 topics that have actually come.
Follow Swadharma.
What is the first point?
In Karma Yoga.
What is the first point?
Do karma without intent, like without having a selfish interest in mind.
Okay. What is from 11th verse onwards?
Diptiji, I think from the 11th verse onwards, first to establish yourself in Atma, to understand what Atma is and the fact that you are not the body, and then all of these things will follow.
Excellent. So the first point is from 11th verse to 30th verse, he had said, know yourself as Atma. Gain Atma Vidya. वो श्रेयस है तुम्हारे लिए अर्जुन. आत्मा को ऐसा जानोगे, अकर्ता दृष्टि से कुछ भी कर्म आपको लेपेगा नहीं. You are not caught up. You will have no bondage. Karam will not bind you. If your performance of excellent, Shruti. Yeah, correct. Sankhya Yoga. First point. When you will have Atma Vidya and you do anything after that, however heinous an action like killing your people looked to be, even that will not bind you. That's what he had concluded in those verses. Then he had said कि because आप अपने आप को अकर्ता देख के कर्म नहीं कर पा रहे, आप अपने आप को जीव समझते हो और कर्ता समझ के ही कर्म करते हो. बहुत बड़ी बात है ये. Therefore, don't delude yourself that you are Atma. Don't start from there. You are Atma, but karta mante ho. So now your duty is to prepare your antakaranam. To prepare your antakaranam, he said, Swadharma Anushtan. Come to Karam Yoga. And for Karam Yoga, abide in your Swadharma. with the attitude of those three that we saw above.
I think we can't hear you, Deepti ji.
Or you can't?
No.
Now can you?
No, we didn't.
Now is it better?
Yeah. The last few lines went amiss, Deepti ji.
Okay. The three things that he had said yesterday, we saw in one of these verses. I had underlined them. The very first one, correct. Nissangataha. Do you remember the verse number? Nissangataha Dvandva Prahana Purvakaha and Ishvara Aradhana Arpanam. These three become the aspects of Swadharma Anushthana. That means Jivkana for any human being. There are only two pursuits for any human being.
Verse 39 it was.
39, correct. What is it? Right. Nissangataya Dvandva Prahana Purvakam Ishwar Aradhanarthe Karma Yoge Karma Anusthane Samadhi Yoge. And that Samadhi Yoga over here is, most of the Vedanta Acharyas would take it as Upasana Yoga, but you can take it as Ashtanga Yoga also, because the end point. But both of them, whether you take it as Karma, Upasana, Ashtanga, it is still in the realm of preparation. Now, so far what study you have done of the Gita is actually cumulative of the direction. अगर किसी को genuinely गीता पढ़ के अपने जीवन को गति देनी है, आध्यात्मिक गति देनी है, तो ज्ञान पूरा हो गया. दो ही बातें हैं इसमें हर जीव के लिए, human being के लिए. There are only two goals that a human being can keep, which will free him. What are the two goals, if anybody can summarize it? There are only two goals that you can actually fix according to what we have studied so far. And this is the entire essence of the entire Vedas also. All Shastra Vidya. Agar koi, if when you're starting life very young and you have many choices in front of you and you say, I need to have criteria to choose what is good for me, what is right for me. दुनिया तो अपना एक रास्ता दिखाती है. दुनिया अपने रास्ते से जो भी बोलती है, study, educate, then go, you get a job, then earn, then etc. It's same. Excellent. Yes. Right, Shruti Gupta. There are only these two goals that you can fix. First goal. What is that?
Dharma.
You will have. See?
Dharma.
Your first goal has to be highest, like I just said, Nachiketas, the goal of Atma Vidya. That you can directly know that you're qualified for. How? You have Vairagya. You have Vivek Shakti. You have Shama Dama Titiksha. In some measure, everyday life situations are neither exciting you nor depressing you. They are not upsetting you. There is hardly any jealousy functioning. There is hardly any envy there. Your anger is always directed to the right cause. Like Arjuna, Kshatriya's anger. Anger per se is not the flaw. Anger, if it is for your desire interruption, that's wrong. But directed, within measure, not harming anyone, etc. When all this is a part of your antakaranam, आपका स्वभाव है ये सब, then you know, just like Nachiketas, आपको साध्य साधना संबंध का लिमिट पता है. That means anything in the world, if I engage in, I just know its shortcoming, and it is not fascinating to me. It doesn't attract me. It doesn't take out karma from me. I'm not inspired. I'm not motivated to do it because I just know the result it has to give me. It's not adequate for me, for my fulfillment. No amount of results are enough to fulfill me. Something is missing, and that you hit upon because of your sincerity, and you know it is Vidya. And therefore only Vidya can be a solution for me. Therefore Atma Vidya is my pursuit. This is that Adhikari, first category goal. If I know that I have temptations of the world and fascination for this and that, and to quite a lot of measure, and I don't have enough, and I have mala, I have ragdvesh for people, my immediate people also, and I have self-interest. I am not able to expand my umbrella to cover more people. If that is what I am, then automatically I know my second goal is prepare for the higher, which means Karam Yoga is my only goal possible. इसके अलावा, without these 90%, 99% will not come into the first category. 99% will fall into the second category. In fact, it is a fall nahi, it is a rise for them also, because 99% of the people are only sakami. सिर्फ कर्म करना जानते हैं, लेकिन कर्म से शुद्धि कैसे पानी वो नहीं जानते, और उस कर्म करने से वो सिर्फ बंधते हैं. People don't understand a very fundamental principle of relationship, supposing. It becomes a part of karma. Why do you have relationships? If you are marrying, if you are married, what is the purpose of marriage? In present world, answer is very clear. What is the purpose of marriage? Enjoy, go, work Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, party, etc. Have children, but the whole attitude is enjoy. Karam kar rahe ho, but that relation, is it freeing you? Tomorrow you will expand your family. Is your family a means of your freedom, inner freedom? बड़े होते होते मन में विकार क्या आ गया? As you're growing older, your family, you now have children, 1, 2, 3, whatever. 3 is a rarity. 1, whatever. Now, what is your engagement entirely in your mind? If you don't, I'm talking about 99% of the people who are into the realm of karma only. बड़े होते होते चिंता ग्रस्तः. Your family is not freed you. Even if you have affection for them, that affection is not genuine care and love. It is attachment. संग बन गया है, मेरा मैं जुड़ गया है, मेरे बच्चे हैं, मेरे परिवार है. Exactly like Arjuna. The emotion doesn't have purity in it. Emotion is surfacing from because मेरा क्या होगा अगर उनके साथ कुछ हुआ तो. The purity of emotion It's not refined. Let's put it this way. It's not a refined emotion. Therefore, 99% of the people, why Vedanta in the real sense doesn't reach the Antakaranam, even if it's heard, is because the preparation of the Antakaranam is missing. All those people who are in the realm of action, finding themselves confused with life or identity, etc., for all of them, Karam Yoga is your only starting Shreyas Marg. So Bhagwan here has once again concluded for Arjuna. Swadharmam anushtitaha. Identify your Swadharma. And we've spent, I think, fairly enough attention on it to come to the point of understanding what is Swadharma. So you see, the whole thing is one tunnel. Well, it's all linked, starting from the highest. It's brought us to our level of saying, abide in your Swadharma and do your Kartavyam. And all this मन में जो आता है, दुख आता है, anxiety आती है, fear आता है, द्वेष आता है, anger आता है, ईर्ष्या आती है, competition आता है, और क्या क्या आता है, want आती है, need आती है, कमी आती है, complex आता है, ego आती है. Anything else left? This is our life engagement. अगर ये सब आता है, that is why it becomes like a pursuit in itself. Very few people even tread knowing such clarity of karma yoga. निश्चय नहीं बनता, एक आत्मा बुद्धि निश्चय नहीं बनता है. व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि ही एक इहा कुरु नंदना. सुन के भी निश्चय नहीं बनता है that I must purify the mind through कर्म योग. कर्म योग का ज्ञान हो जाता है, कर्म योग क्लियरली समझ में आता है, बट कर्म योग का निश्चय नहीं होता है. So what happens to the antakaranam? Avyavasai, it remains. More avenues got added, which is all the spiritual engagement. इसका एक अपना ही shopping mall है. That becomes now one more added in the vyavasai, avyavasai manaha. But for the student of Gita, who has approached Gita, who has approached Krishna to say, my zindagi, my life, मेरा जीवन है ये, इस जीवन को मुझे गति देनी है, आध्यात्मिक गति देनी है. Otherwise, when I look around me, as I keep growing older, I see what is Vriddhavastha doing to people. Will I be any separate, different from them? My old age, will it be different from any of these old ages that I see around? Unless until when I'm young, when I have faculties, when I have still desires, I can purify because I have desires, because those desires will help me to make my mind nishkam. I start in the realm of desire and I become nishkami in the pursuit of its fulfillment. Is this clear? Even if I start pursuing a sakamata, he has shown us nishkama bhava, Arjuna. You may start by pursuing sakamata, but immediately disconnect the phala ichcha from the karma. Nishkama. Keep your field of activity. In fact, I'm going to make a big statement. To grow, one doesn't need a lot. a small field of activity is enough. And what is that small? 2, 4, 5, 6, whatever people around us are in our environment, whatever roles are enough in our environment, this is enough. Genuinely enough to grow internally. It doesn't need a lot, because our swabhav will be repetitively displayed in front of us. हमारा स्वभाव हमारे सामने डिस्प्ले होता है in interaction with those few people that we are related to or which are in our kartavya drishti. The same swabhav will come out, will eke out. It will express, and that becomes the reason, the medium, the opportunity कि अपने अंतकरण को कर्म योग से शिथिल करो. Free yourself from those swabhavik vrittis that have got added and are binding us today as men. And that is why he said, Atmavan. Be strong. Be under control of your own self. But Shankara has given a beautiful meaning. Apramataha. Have no. Pramad is a very difficult word to translate, really speaking. Mad is the root. Mad is, what does mad mean? Madira also comes from mad. What does Madira do?
It makes you lose yourself.
It makes you lose yourself. That kind of an intoxicant mind. आपके मन को जैसा स्ट्यूपर में रखता है. That is mad. Pramad means that's the stupery kind of a mind. Atmavan means a stupery mind, non-stupery mind. Rise above this pramad. Sleepwalking is my best word. When you have a little knowledge and you are aligned to these values in your life by some effort, by some tapas, drunkenness, stupor. Correct. When you are aligned your life to some extent to these values and आपका चैतन्यम थोड़ा खुल गया, प्रमाद से हटा है तो आपका चैतन्यम expresses through your antakarna. There is a more awareness and more alertness expressing than a normal average sakami vyakti. निष्काम व्यक्ति का अंतकरण मॉडिफाइड होता है क्योंकि राग द्वेष शिथिल हो गया है. Such a nishkami, when your awareness is awakened to some extent, more than your previous state, say, you can clearly see the sleepwalkiness. That is pramad. जागे हुए भी जागे नहीं है. जिंदगी तो सोए सोए निकल रही है. रोज उठे हैं, कर रहे हैं, जा रहे हैं, आ रहे हैं, खा रहे हैं, पी रहे हैं, बात करते हैं, परस्यू करते हैं, सब कुछ हो रहा है. But there is a dullness. As if there is a parda. Vivek Shakti. There is no thinking happening. There is nothing, no observation happening. There is only reactiveness that happens to stimulus that comes. So somebody says something and आप immediately reactive हो जाते हैं. Somebody अच्छा किसी ने कह दिया आपके बारे में. So what is the trance of moha? Correct. The trance of it's a stupery trance. These two words will help. Stupery trance. Sleepwalking. कृष्णा अर्जुन को कह रहा है, एंड ये हम सबको कह रहे हैं, एंड डू नॉट बी प्रमादी। अर्जुन, ये जो तुम्हारी स्थिति में अब तुम हो ना, द स्थिति इज directly showing your state of pramad. If you will not immediately revive yourself, work on yourself, the pramad will go on pulling you down. Your pramad will go on making you a worser being. It will keep bringing up your lower values, strengthen them. It will encourage you to engage in things that you should not be engaging in, that Shastra prohibits you to engage in, because it will keep making you seek instant pleasure. जो आराम से हो रहा है, जो बिना मेहनत के होता है, जो अभी फिर उसके लिए फिर बाद में धर्म अधर्म also gets lost. And first sign of a spiritual person is आत्मवान. और जो जागा है, there is a story. Correct. Aviveki is a pramadi. There is a story that even days I heard. It's going to come in the context of Siddha Prajna now, 53rd, 4th, 5th verse onwards, chapter 2. And the story was to explain what is this Jagrat pramadi in this context. But ज्ञानी की जागृति कैसी है? ज्ञानी is an awakened being. वो awakening क्या है? क्या जागृति है उसकी? To all of us, हम words सुनते हैं, उसकी आत्मा को लेके जागृति है, आत्म विद्या है, मगर वो जागृति है. To understand this, the example given, it's not a story, sorry, it's an example given is, imagine in a room, it's like a dormitory. Floor pe, there are 50 beds, it's a big hall, 50 people sleeping on the floor. And one person walks in. What is the knowledge of that person who walked in? उसकी ज्ञान की क्या स्थिति है? ज्ञान क्या है उसको उस वक्त?
कि बाकी सब सो रहे हैं और मैं जाग रहा हूँ.
तो कितने ज्ञान है वो? किस किस्म का ज्ञान है? करेक्ट, एब्सोल्युटली राइट आकांक्षा. दो ज्ञान
ये तो हाँ, ये तो आई थिंक यू गॉट इट थ्रू योर सेंसेस ना, सेंसरी ज्ञान.
अभी वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट. इट्स एन एग्जांपल. Through the example, we are trying to understand वो जागृति
दूसरे के बारे में और अपने बारे में.
उसको पता है मैं जागा हूं, and in relation वो समझ गया है कि कौन जागा नहीं है, क्योंकि उसको अपनी जागृति समझ में है. तो उसको पता है मैं तो जागा हुआ हूं, और उसको दिख रहा है कौन जागा नहीं है, और जो जागा नहीं है वो सो रहा है. तो एक्चुअली ज्ञान क्या है? जागने का ज्ञान है. और वो जागने के ज्ञान से अनुमान अपने आप आ गया कौन जागा नहीं है, वो दिख रहा है, क्योंकि जागने का ज्ञान है. एंड द वन जिनका अंतःकरण भी शुद्ध हो जाता है, आत्मविद्या की बात जब आएगी तब तो वो पूर्ण ज्ञानी है. बट कर्म योग जो करता है वो भी शुद्ध हो रहा है, उसका अंतःकरण भी अवेकन्ड है to some degree. As and as the shuddhi happens, there is a jagrati within, and you know that you are awakened, and you also know who is not awakened, who is sleeping still. That's why I call them sleepwalkers. अंतःकरण में एक जागृति है. That jagrati is inexplicable. It's aprameya. You know, and anybody else who's awoken up, कोई और चित्त शुद्ध अगर व्यक्ति है वो समझ जाएगा कि ये चित्त शुद्ध है. चित्त शुद्ध समझेगा कि ये चित्त शुद्ध है क्योंकि वो राग द्वेष अपने ओवरकम कर चुका है. तो वो दूसरे के राग द्वेष, वो सोया हुआ है, इसलिए वो राग द्वेष से काम करता है, इसलिए वो अहंकार से काम करता है. Is my sentence coherent? क्योंकि वो खुद जागा है. उसने कैसे जागा? अपनी तपस की ना उसने. क्या तपस की? अपने राग द्वेष को उसने रोका, आत्मवान बना. क्योंकि वो आत्मवान बना है, उसको राग द्वेष का डिस्टर्बेंस भी पता है, अपने राग द्वेष का, क्योंकि उसका अनुभव था. वो राग द्वेष में मन चित्त कैसा है, मेरा मन कैसे चलता है जब राग द्वेष होता है. That is his own knowledge before he started निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धि. एक निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धि कर्म योग इस जीवन में करके रहेंगे. जब वो कर्म योग की दृष्टि में लाया, even a little कर्म योग, स्वल्पमपि अस्य कर्म, even a little कर्म योग started to free. जैसे कहते हैं ना, जाल साफ हो गया, cobweb cleaned. There's a very beautiful clip I saw. Sea turtles save the sea. Sea turtle. I had never seen it. I did not know it till I saw it 2 days back. Sea turtles have a look because they have a hard shell, because that example comes in this chapter also. We have an example of turtle that will come. विज्ञानी कैसे चलता है, व्यवहार करता है. He is like a कूर्मः. ऐसे ही वो danger sense करता है. He withdraws his head and his forelimbs under the shell. The sea turtle, उसका जो hard shell है, because of being in water, over a time, it has so much different sea creatures growing on it, plants growing on, and it becomes very heavy. It's a very strange sight. Different sea turtles would have so much growth on their hard shell. हमने तो pure photograph देखी थी, so I never knew this was possible till I saw it 2 days ago. It's a vivid sight now. And there are workers, volunteers, who have decided to scrape that off for the turtles. You have to see the turtle behavior. They pick up the turtle, and the turtle probably has sensed already. Is non-resistive, भाग नहीं रहा, कुछ नहीं कर रहा है. Submissive, surrenders as if. And this volunteer has a scraper, like a blunt knife. You can hear the sound, cut, cut. Has to literally knock it off. And when it's knocked, it takes quite a while. It depends upon how much growth there is. And once the whole thing, and on the undersurface also it has. Literally sea animals under it also. Shelled animals, snails and things like that. When the whole thing is cleaned away, the hard shell of the turtle is so beautiful to look at. It's so beautiful. The underpart is so beautiful. And now that it's light and when it's released in water, swims with such swiftness initially. Just swims away. And you can see the lightness of the body. Karam Yog say, इंसान freed turtle, scraped away all this. It scraped away. The difference is, turtle doesn't have the capacity to scrape himself. But Jiva, human being, has to scrape themselves away because ये जो मल accumulate हुआ है ना, वो ये संसार में, सेम ओशन, संसार इज द ओशन, इंटरैक्शंस, पीपल, व्यवहार, बातें, इसी में अपने अंतकरण में कचरा आ गया है, लेप लिया है, हमारे अंतकरण को हमने उसके साथ जोड़ के अपना बना लिया. And the only scraper that we have is Atma Vidya, is Brahma Vidya, is Vedanta. Even Karam Kand doesn't give it, because Karam Kand कर्मों का मार्ग दिखाता है. And through the verses that we have just seen, वो कर्मों का मार्ग is त्रैगुण्यम. It will keep you in the realm of three gunas. It will keep you in punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. आप कर्म करोगे तो उसका भोक्ता बनोगे, तो सृष्टि में जन्म लोगे, सृष्टि आपके लिए बनेगी जिसमें आप जन्म लोगे. आपके कर्मों के आधार से सृष्टि बनेगी, जनित होगी, in which your form will be there for you to engage. Only Vedanta. And because 99% of us are karmis, karmi means karam buddhi hai, bhokta buddhi hai. Gita is the only text जो ज्ञान देती है scraping का, which is how to do that karam yoga. To say do karam yoga, and then you will be relatively freed. But how to do karam yoga? What are its components? What is it that needs to be done? Karam yoga to ek shabd hai. I really don't know how many people really understand karam yoga after knowing all this also. It takes a lot of mananam to actually apply it. And the effect, because not only your antakaranam is free like a turtle, freed of its things, there is anugraha, there's Ishvara, so there's something else, that your awakening is of a different nature. Your Vivek Shakti operates. You can see that it's beginning to operate. चल रही है. मैं सोच सकती हूँ, मैं सोच सकता हूँ, सही और गलत को सही समझ सकता हूँ. I don't have a biased opinion. I don't have a subjective mind. कि जो मुझे ठीक लगता है वो सही है. No. A dharmic buddhi. Karma yoga has come because of me applying dharma in my life. And that dharmic buddhi tells me I am also right, I am also wrong. Right and wrong is irrespective of I. That is a prasad, and it's a huge prasad. It's huge gain in a person's life, even when the entry is Karam Yoga. In fact, not even when. There is no other way. आध्यात्मिक गति अगर किसी को चाहिए, तो Karam Yoga is your starting point. And Karam Yoga doesn't just mean unselfish action. It doesn't just mean having a soft heart, daya, drishti, sabbe. अपने आप को लुटाने में भी, after all, that passive dayavan is not called Karam Yoga. That's not a Vedic drishti. Vedic drishti never makes you a poor. Daya is also a beautiful emotion which comes because of knowledge, of identifying who needs what when. Comes from there. So he says to Arjuna, this verse is beautiful because here he's telling Arjuna, give up your pursuit of your self-interest. What would be Arjuna's Yogakshema here? What is Arjuna doing?
He wants to run away from the war, not to escape all the dukha that's going to come later.
Right. So he wants to finally say, okay, what is good for me? I'd rather take a life of renunciation, संन्यास लेके भिक्षा पे मैं रहूं. उसकी नजर एकदम छोटी हो गई है. One says, Niryogakshema. Don't worry about the outcome of the war. You have decided it is a dharmic war. Free yourself from this burdened thinking. Your thinking is burdening you. Free yourself from this burdened thinking and get down to doing what you're supposed to do. So it will help you in your shreyas. That's what Arjuna had asked. What will give me shreyas? It will help you in your shreyas. And then in the 46th verse is kind of connecting now back to, it's a build-up verse with linking verse, connecting it back to, bringing us back to the topic of Atma Vidya, Sankhya Vidya, slowly. It's gravitating. जो कर्म योग करेगा और ज्ञान योग में आएगा, establish होगा, उसके लक्षण क्या होंगे. But before that, here he said, be nistraigunya, establish in sattva, rise above dvandvas, be freed of yoga and shema. So then, if keeping in mind here one of the context of karma is Vedic karmas, include Laukik karmas also, no problem. अगर कर्म फल देने की दृष्टि से मुझे अपनी नजर हटानी ही है, then why should one do karma as an offering to Ishvara? Ishvaraya, ईश्वर के लिए. सर्वेषु वेदेषु, in all the Vedas, karmasu, with reference to actions, whatever has been said, yani yuktani, जो दिया गया है, क्या दिया है? अनंतानि फलानि तानि. Many results have been said for this action, that result, this action, that result. So many actions and their respective phal has been laid down in the Vedas. Na apekshante is not to be looked at by us if we are not to look at them, not follow them. Kimartham? Then why? Tani Ishwaraya iti anushchiyante. Then why should we perform those actions as an offering to God? Some people can have this question. Shankara has built the two verses connection. Sambandha Bhashyam. This point 0, it is only in this book that you have the author having divided the Bhashyam like this. The paragraph point 0 is the connecting Bhashyam between the previous and the next. Sambandha Bhashyam it's called. So what is the Sambandha between the previous verse and this verse? That is why it's a thought flow. पिछले वर्ष ने कहा अर्जुन को निर्योगक्षेम बनो, rise above gunas, etc. So now someone can say, then why am I to do Karam Yoga? Why should I do this karma at all? That is the 46th verse. Also a very famous verse. It is good to remember the previous 45th and 46th verses. They get quoted quite often. This verse gets quoted very often in deeper study when one does. Yavan artha udapane sarvataha samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. There are two words. Yavan, tavan. Yavan, jab tak. Tavan, tab tak. Yavan, artha. Udapane. Udapane is small reservoirs of water. जब तक छोटे रिजर्वायर ऑफ वाटर का उपयोग है, अर्थ उसका काम है, कब तक रहेगा? Till when are the small reservoirs of water useful? Till when do you have their utility? You have pots and you have small wells and etc. So Udapane means small collected vessels. जब तक उनका काम है, कब तक? In the light of sarvatah samplutodake. When the water is available everywhere, when the water has flooded, when there is a lake of water, what is the use of the small vessels of water when there is a lake of water? I'll repeat. When a lake of water is available, then what is the use of small vessels of water? Kya kaam? They are redundant. Because what purpose the small vessel can give can only give if there is no larger body available. Small is parichinna, limited. वो सिर्फ उतना ही उपयोग हो सकता है. But if there is a larger available, then the larger will also give the fall of the smaller. जो छोटे का उपयोग है वो बड़े से तो मिल ही जाएगा ना. जितना पानी छोटा एक ग्लास भर रहा है, you are going on a traveling and you are carrying 1 glass of water. Only 1 glass of water you carry. And then someone gives you a flask of water. What is the use of 1 glass of water? That 1 glass is already included in 1 flask, which has 3 glasses of water. It's a very important verse. He says, whatever a small objective can give you will have very limited prayojan. But when there is a larger objective available, then the smaller is encompassed in it. It's not lost its significance. It is included in the larger. Larger will give you that smaller also. The chota is not just redundant, it is included in the larger. Tavan. So too, tab tak. Sarveshu Vedeshu Brahmanasya Vijanataha. He says, the Brahman, the knower, Vijanataha, knows. Sarveshu Vedeshu, what all the Vedas are giving. Whatever the Vedas talk of, and he has known what its objective is, then what will be the use of, for him, what the 3 guna karma kanda Veda is offering. सर्वेषु वेदेषु जो तात्पर्य दे रहा है, ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः, वो जान गया. In other words, let me put it in simple language. When the knower of Atma Vidya knows अहम ब्रह्मास्मि, जब वो जान गया, now what is the purpose of the Vedic knowledge? Moreover, what is the purpose left now of the Karam Kand for him? What was Karam Kand giving? Karam Kand was giving him sadhanam, means to some sadhyam, limited goals with an idea that pursuing them he will get happy. The student of Veda, karma, even in the Laukik world, acquisition वाला, उसका purpose क्या है कर्म करने का? Presupposes that I am not full. I am wanting. मुझे कुछ चाहिए. एक नीड है, कमी है. इसलिए वो कर्म करता है. उस कमी को ज्ञान ने भर दिया कि तुम्हारे में कमी है ही नहीं, तुम ब्रह्मन हो. तो वो सोच उसकी करेक्ट कर दी. अब वो ब्रह्मन है. ब्रह्मन इज सुखानंदम, आत्म स्वभावम, सुख स्वभावम, आनंद स्वभावम. जो अपने आप को ब्रह्मन जानता है, आनंद है, उसको विषयों का मिला हुआ इच्छाओं की पूरी होने के आनंद का क्या प्रयोजन रह गया? Will it make any difference if some desire is fulfilled or not fulfilled? If I have gone to heaven or not gone to heaven? If I have got Indra Padvi or not got Indra Padvi? Brahman is that ocean of Anandam. When he is already in the ocean of Anandam, what are these small sources of Anandam going to add to him? They are already included in Brahmanandam. It's a very beautiful portion elaborated in Taittiriya Upanishad. Brahmananda Valli it will come in. Gradations of Anandam. Object Sukham. It starts with small pleasure seeking. That is complete avidya. चित्त शुद्ध मन जैसे होने लगता है, धीरे धीरे a person stops depending on small happiness. विषय के आनंद में तो छूट ही जाता है. Because now people will think that अगर आप ये सब आनंद में नहीं जी रहे तो are you very depressed? This verse is an answer to that. आप आनंद में जी रहे हो विषयों के बिना, जो वो सोच भी नहीं सकते. They only know the small glass आनंदम. विषयों का आनंद जानते हैं वो अविद्या में रह के. जो इवन चित्त शुद्धि करता है वो भी क्लोजर टू सुख आ गया है, अपने आनंद के पास आ रहा है. आनंद उसका स्वभाव है, वो उसके पास आ रहा है. तो उतना आनंद वो इंडिपेंडेंटली रहता है. विषय सुखों के बावजूद भी वो आनंद में है. ऑलरेडी फॉर कर्म योग यू नीड सुख दुख का समत्व. सुख दुख का समत्व का स्थिति क्या होगी मन की? आनंद ही है ना. अब वो वाला सुख नहीं है जो विषय को मिलके गया, इसलिए वो दुख भी नहीं है जब विषय खो गया. कर्म योग ही वो हुआ ना जो उसको दोनों को बैलेंस किया. तब तो वो कर्म योगी बना ना, वरना वो कर्म योगी नहीं है. That balance itself has brought him closer to his own Ananda Swabhav. Independent state of Anandam, it has brought him closer to it. तो ब्रह्म ज्ञानी जो है, ब्राह्मणः विजानतः, जो ब्रह्म ज्ञानी है, For him, it's an overflowing anandam. Just as samplutodake, udaka which is overflowing, reservoir of water which is overflowing water. What is a small reservoir going to do? In the same way, the knower of Brahman, what is the part of Karam Kand going to do to him? In fact, the entire Veda has dissolved away. तब अब निष्प्रयोजन हो गए. They don't have tangibility there because अर्थ उनका reveal हो गया. When you have candies with wrappers, especially children, when you see them, give them a bowl of varieties of candies. They are so excited because they don't know which wrapper has which candy. But the minute they open the wrapper and they get the candy, it's revealed now. The wrapper is thrown. Karam yogi adhikari ban gaya, ज्ञान योग का अधिकारी बनके श्रवणम मननम निधिध्यासन होके आत्मज्ञान से उसने discovered. It's a undoing of your own layers of turtle के ऊपर जो है मन में जो सब भरी है सब निकल के छट के. Now once you have known you are Brahman, ब्रह्म ज्ञान है, मैं ब्रह्म हूं, ब्रह्मन हूं. अब मैं जीव होके अगर मुझे कुछ आनंद मिल रहा है, will it have a value? और अगर मैं जीव होके कुछ खो गया, will it have a value? अर्जुन को कह रहे हैं कि आप अगर आत्मदृष्टि से अगर अपना कर्तव्य देखते, परिस्थिति देखते, नॉट कर्तव्य, परिस्थिति देखते, तो वैसे भी यहाँ पे सुख सौरो नहीं है. और स्वधर्म की दृष्टि से देखते हो तो भी सौरो नहीं है. सौरो अगर है तुमको तो वो जीव दृष्टि में है और वो सोच तुम्हारी गलत है. तो सोच बदलोगे तो ही कर्म योग तक भी आओगे और कर्म योग के आने के लिए सोच ही बदलनी पड़ती है. That is why I am making a big statement and it is a recorded thing. Yes, I'll edit it. For the sake of the class, I'll say it. Where after people don't understand that Vedanta is not class. वेदांता का स्थान बहुत अलग है जीवन में. And I haven't yet come across anybody who understands it. Nobody. Because सब इसको ज्ञान समझते हैं. मगर ज्ञान का प्रयोजन क्या है? क्यों चाहिए तुमको ज्ञान? क्या दिखता है तुमको? Unless until you have that clarity. और वो clarity actually it's like a one supporting the other. थोड़ी शुरुआत की विवेक शक्ति होने से, थोड़ा जिज्ञासा होने से, then you know, hey, common sense. If there is going to be punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, I am anyway going to be born again and again. There is no way out. Either I'm never born, then there is no problem. Or I'm always going to be born again and again, then no problem. Is it possible that in a lifetime, one life, that I can test these things, try these, experiment them, figure them out, apply them, imply them, adopt them, and see if they're right or wrong? Can I verify them? वो शुरू करता है कर्मयोग की गति. कर्मयोग ये सब अभी 3rd चैप्टर तक तो I think people get fed up also. सुन सुन के I don't know कि virtual world में क्या होगा online में. But Karam Yog. At some point, if you're not inspired by the reason to know this knowledge, अगर वो बुद्धि में clear नहीं है, then after some time you know what is Karam Yoga. What is there new to know? Karam Yoga का definition तो नहीं बदलेगा. Karam Yoga के components तो नहीं बदलेंगे. आप शब्द बदल के अलग से समझ जाओगे. ओके, कोई और अलग तरीके से समझाता है, कोई और अलग तरीके, ठीक है, थोड़ा सा और सब वर्ड्स में, लेकिन कंपोनेंट तो नहीं बदलेगा. वो तो वही रहेगा. निश्चय आत्मिका बुद्धि ही बनती. For all of us, the people, the things of the world, and what is to be got here remain primary. कर्म योग प्राइमरी बनता ही नहीं. मेरे संबंध प्राइमरी है, मेरी नौकरी प्राइमरी है, मेरी छुट्टियां प्राइमरी है, मेरे ये प्राइमरी है, मेरा वो प्राइमरी है, मेरा यहाँ जाना प्राइमरी है, मेरा वो करना, वो सब प्राइमरी रहता है. ये प्राइमरी somehow नहीं बनता है. But that is why शास्त्र अनुग्रह is enough. शास्त्र का और गुरु परंपराओं का अनुग्रह बहुत है. They see it in a compassionate light also. ये भी बनते बनता है, सुनते सुनते मे बी sometime बनता है. Definitely interest है, उतना अधिकारत्व तो होता है. But that this knowledge can change your life, who can claim that? This much knowledge is enough, I'm telling you. And this also nobody believes me when I say that. I've been saying it for 25 years now. कोई नहीं माना मेरी इस बात को. कोई मानता ही नहीं है कि this much knowledge was enough. नहीं, फिर ये, फिर वो, फिर यहाँ, फिर वहाँ, फिर ऐसे, फिर. If you're really interested that this knowledge should benefit you, then this much knowledge is more than enough. चलो हम नचिकेतस के नहीं हैं. We are not, oh, it's 7:10. हम नचिकेतस के नहीं हैं लेवल पे. हमें आत्मविद्या नहीं. अर्जुन के लेवल पे तो हम हैं. और अगर हम कहेंगे नहीं हम अर्जुन के लेवल पे भी नहीं हैं, तो फिर आप शायद वेदांता तक, गीता तक भी नहीं आते. इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं होगा ना फिर आपको तो इंटरेस्ट अर्थ और काम में होगा. So you would now be attending a seminar which will teach you how to make success in 5 days. You will be attending seminar which will say how to multiply your targets. आप वो कर रहे होते. Interest तो है. So what is one of the duties, I will say it is my duty if I teach this subject, one of the duties that I would talk for myself, would hold in me, is to try and deliver the knowledge to say, Karam Yog शब्द नहीं है, शब्दार्थ है. There is a purpose there. अर्जुन के लेवल तक तो हम हैं. तो अगर हम गीता को, अगर हम सिर्फ एक टेक्स्ट बुक नहीं मानते और एक गाइड बुक मानते हैं, then गीता ये गाइडेंस दे रही है. Gita is giving us this guidance. If your mind is disturbed by a lot of things in the world and by your own self of want, start Karam Yoga. You don't need to know much. Bring Karam Yoga in your life. You will see the difference. A time will come, you will automatically have enough vairagyam to say, I have understood things well. I need knowledge. And then you will take knowledge like a person whose clothes are burning and needs water. वो मुमुक्षुत्व इतना तीव्र हो जाता है, फिर तुम as if आग लगी है and मुझे अब पानी दो. Then the first part again, Atma is this, Atma is this, यही फिर से पढ़ाया जाएगा, and then suddenly, now I know. जो पहले समझ नहीं आया, कर्म योग किया, फिर से सुना, फिर पता, oh, now I know. How long that cycle is independent. Let's end here. We won't take any.
दीप्ति जी, वन स्मॉल क्वेश्चन. अगर हम जैसे कितने सारे लोगों को आजकल दुनिया में जो भी लोग बहुत ज्यादा वर्कोहॉलिक होते हैं वो अपने आप को कर्म योगी कह रहे हैं. सो विच मीन्स दैट अगर वो रियल कर्म योग होता तो फिर उसके थ्रू उनको वैराग्य आता, और फिर जब उनको ज्ञान मिलता तो या वो ज्ञान की तरफ चलते. पर अगर वो ज्ञान की तरफ नहीं चल रहे, मतलब उनका कर्मयोग रियल कर्मयोग नहीं है.
रियल और आर्टिफिशियल कर्मयोग नहीं होता.
मतलब उनका
कर्मयोग नहीं है, वो सोचते हैं कि कर्मयोग है.
हाँ जी.
Just because you're workaholic can be entirely sakamata also, no?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, करेक्ट.
In fact, sakamata से rajas जिसका high है, we just finished that, no? If
हाँ
your
जी.
rajas is high, you will be a go-getter, you will be a workaholic.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
You cannot sit quiet, you cannot sit without achieving.
Hmm.
You will have to have tangible goals and you will have to fulfill those tangible goals. You have to see the results. You know, that result is your juice of life. जब तक वो दिखता नहीं ना result, that excitement of having put up a target and then that excitement of having pursuing it and facing the challenges and overcoming the challenges and then and then finally fulfilling that target, that is your juice of life. That is a workaholic. That is rajas, pradhan. Karam Yoga definition, after this you will get so much clarity if you just go over these verses again and again. Karam Yoga may he's brought Nistrai Gunya. Be freed of the effects of the gunas, which you cannot be otherwise, therefore established in sattva. वर्कaholic और कर्म योग में क्या फर्क आएगा? क्या कर्म योग लेजी हो जाता है? Let's understand this difference now.
बट हाँ जी, कर्म योग में सत्व ज्यादा होगा. वो
But कर्म
रजस
कैसा होगा उसका? Compare just karma of workaholic and karma of a कर्म
उसका
योगी.
कर्म सेल्फ डायरेक्टेड नहीं होगा, उसका कर्म सर्विस डायरेक्टेड होगा.
Will it be dynamic or not?
इट विल बी वेरी डायनामिक.
Exactly. So in terms of dynamism, workaholic and Karam Yogi may, if you were to compare just the dynamic aspect of it, Karam Yogi will be more dynamic than a workaholic. His output will be far more in life than a workaholic gives an output. वो इतना काम कर सकता है जीवन में जो एक वर्कaholic सोचता है कि मैं बहुत करता हूं, कर्म योगी effortlessly करता है उसको. उसकी productivity is very high in life. Because on the shell of the turtle, he carries no burden. Workaholic gets slowed down compared to the Karam Yogi because a workaholic carries the burden. मुझे करना है, मुझे ये प्राप्त करना है, फल से जुड़ा है. तो मैं नहीं करूं तो रेस्टलेस है, एजिटेटेड है, एंग्शियस है, अनफुलफिल्ड है, etc. etc. Workaholic also has a juice in life, has a rasa in life, has enjoyment in life. And
Right.
Karam Yogi is also extremely active
हाँ जी.
and is extremely poised. Very poised. Samatvam is उसका फलक्रम है कर्मयोग का. वही उसकी प्रैक्टिस है. बिना प्रैक्टिस के उसको कर्मयोग कह नहीं सकते. It's not an effect. Samatvam becomes an effect, of course, but the practice is samatvam, establishment is samatvam.
हाँ जी, अंडरस्टूड.
Next verse also is printed, samatvam yoga uchyate.
थैंक यू
So
दीप्ति.
let's end the class. आप करेंगे?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी. ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भया ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
We will
नमस्कार